Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics, a podcast about comic books, video games, movies, television, and everything nerd, with your hosts, Nate Phillips, Brandon Stone, and Shuddy Boy.
And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
What's up, guys? Brando here with Journey into Comics, and welcome to a very special episode. Pretty much, with this episode, is not going to be your typical episode. It's going to be me and Silent Rob breaking his silence for one of the first times on the show. He's done it before, but this is pretty much a test. There might be a show that comes out of this. Me and Rob might start doing our own little side show that's not going to be affiliated directly with Journey into Comics, but I'm sure there'll be some crossover at some point. But you know what? This was just a lot of fun, and we got together and did it, and it was great. We'll more than likely going to do another show at some point. So, and if there's any updates with that, I will certainly let you guys know. So stay tuned here. For the meantime, I'm so happy to be able to present to you sort of our episode 0, our preview episode. This is just me trying to sit down, trying to get him to relax a little bit, and we share some stories, we let you know who we are, and then we try some new stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the episode, and let's just get right down to it.
Are you tall enough to ride? Man, you only have to be so tall to drink this shit. It's not...
The Coney Island hard root beer.
Yeah.
Are you tall enough to ride?
This is not like an age discriminating thing. It's
It's a height thing.
Shaq's 15-year-old son could drink this shit.
Dude, Vern Troyer's screwed. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, this is the Unnamed podcast of the Unnamed variety. This doesn't have a name yet.
Why not?
I thought of a couple.
I have not.
You have, see, I mean, it's
Yeah.
sort of creative force here.
I
But
mean, you're kind of the one that orchestrated all this.
I did. And by me, I'm Brando. If you're listening to this is on Journey into Comics, but this is not a typical Journey into Comics episode. This is pretty much a test of another type of show, maybe. This could potentially become something if we like it, if it turns out pretty well. But with me here is the not so silent Rob. He's not silent today.
Yes.
I've known Rob for years. When did we first meet?
Before I can even remember.
Right? Because I don't even remember us meeting for the first time. There's not too many people I can actually place that with. Like, I remember meeting, Preston. I remember meeting him for the first time. It was on, preschool bus. On, little bus. We used to ride the little bus to school. I don't remember meeting Jason. I remember seeing him in school going, oh, yeah, he's my friend. I don't remember meeting you at all. It's but I guess with family, because...
Yeah, we're practically family.
Yeah, I mean, your aunt married my uncle, and so we were always... Okay, so we were similar in age, practically family. We're in the same town, so... I'm sure we probably first met at a family function. That's what I would gather.
Yeah, at Aunt Sharon, Uncle Andy's house or something.
Yeah, something like that. It makes sense. I mean, there are pictures of stuff, that I have from from there. But I think there's a picture of me and Devin or something like that.
I think my earliest memory of you is at my grandma's house.
The old house.
Yeah, the old house.
The old house. Yeah. I remember being there. I don't know why. Was it around the time that your grandfather died, or did he?
No, because that was in 93, 94.
Okay. So about 6 or 7. Because I mean, that's how old I would have been. So it's just something like that. I mean, because we've known each other for so long, We grew up together. We went to school. It was funny because we always had this sort of thing where we would hang out periodically.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with the way that our school system was set up.
Could be, yeah.
Because the way that our local school system set it up was Maple was like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Then Honeywell was third grade, fourth. John Grier was fifth grade, sixth, and then you moved to the middle school, which was connected to the high school. So, the latter years you were in pretty much the same building, but for the first formative years, for the first half of your school career, you're in like a couple different buildings. So when you would leave a building, we would start hanging out. When I would catch up, we would hang out again. And not really in school because we always had because since you were a year ahead, of course we never had the same classes, but it was always like we never even had the same recess.
Yeah. I think there's also that, Uncle Andy passed away, but there's also, later on, they wanted to get my grandma out of that house, and she ended up moving right across the street from you.
Yeah.
So, I remember, every time there was, a family function there, I would always go over there and, knock on your window.
Yeah, I remember that. So, yeah, we've known each other forever. So, and that continued because on into high school, obviously we're in the same school now. You're still a year ahead. We still never had PE classes that actually had multiple years together. We never had that, and I dropped out of. Did you continue on with musical chorus thing for a few years?
I did not go take chorus my last year because we had that new teacher, and I did not like him.
Okay. I only did that in middle school for 1 year, and I didn't care for it then. But then you graduated, and then I really remember you coming over every night for a month and a half at 11 o'clock at night. It was always really late. You would just come over, we would hang out, watch Family Guy, and just hang out.
Play some SmackDown.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Play SmackDown. Speaking of, it's games were always a part of our friendship. Whether it was Super Nintendo, whether it was PlayStation, in that instance PS2. But
I think that's also a reason why I kind of quit hanging out with you sometimes. Because I'm like, man, video games, I need to grow up. But but then, it's what? Why do I care? There's nothing wrong with playing video games. You just don't want to do it all the time.
Oh, come on now. We're in my game room.
I do want to. I know.
We are in my, I have, literally, a couple hundred games in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
so, the thing is, we can go on and on, but, us kind of growing up together, we moved out together. Well, first we worked together.
Yeah, but that's such crazy, man.
Yeah, okay, because this is what is really weird about this, because you went off and you got a job, so you quit coming over every night. And then I graduated the next year. I just happened to go and work at the same place. Then, after a week, I get put on day shift, and we just so happened to be on the same line right next to each other. Then that morphed into us working pretty much exclusively together for a year and a half, and we just carpooled every day.
Yeah.
And really, that's where the idea for this spawned, to sit down and talk. Because we would go to work and gripe about having to go build windows, listening to talk radio sometimes, and we would be like, man, it'd be awesome to get paid to do that instead of doing what we're doing.
Yeah, for me it was kind of it was also a music thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just we really wanted to have our own radio station.
Yeah.
And actually control the music that was being played because everybody sucks. Yeah.
K-Rob. Yeah, it was always something that we always kind of thought about and dreamt about. And then we worked there for a while, and then I convinced you to move out with me and get out of the house. And we moved over to this neck of the woods, over here in central Indiana. And We lived together for about 4 years. It was almost exactly 4 years.
Yeah.
Because then eventually me and my wife bought a house, and then we went our separate ways that way. And it was funny because it was like for the first couple months that I moved out, my wife likened it to us like breaking up or like long distance relationship. I guess, yeah, that's a better way to say it. Because you would call me and we would talk on the phone for like hours. After we lived together for 4 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're so used to like having somebody like talk to, and then like, well, I guess Wes was like living there. No,
Yeah, he was.
no, Wes moved out shortly after.
Did he? And did he come back?
Yeah, then he came back.
Okay, I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he like took over somebody's apartment.
That mustn't have lasted long then.
I don't know, 4 months maybe.
4 months.
Could be wrong.
That's almost like kind of a waste.
Yeah.
I mean, like, whatever. I don't want to spend all this time talking about Wes. Come on now. Wes can come on here and talk about himself. But, yeah, so we moved out, and we're working at the same place again. Somehow we're not on the same line, but in the same area.
Yeah.
Again.
Pretty much look over and see you.
Right. And so, and there's always been a closeness and connection. I mean, you were the best man at my wedding.
And you were the best man in mine.
I know. And you didn't give a best man speech at my wedding.
No, I did not.
And I gave a really bad one at yours.
Because I'm silent.
You are pretty silent, unless somebody gets you drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did have a best man speech at yours, and it's probably the worst one in the history of mankind.
That wasn't that bad.
No, it was horrible. Okay, it's because I didn't plan it. I didn't plan it at all. It's like, I have something I want to say. I'm like, I'm going to talk about family. Because Rob is like family, and that means Gretchen will almost kind of be like family too. And I thought, hey, I'm a good talker. I can improv this. I can make this go for like 5 minutes. It'd be great. Little did I know that after 30 seconds, I didn't have any more to say. So I'm just sitting there going, nah. But it was worse. It was horrible. Because then, a few months later, our friend Matt got married. And I was in his wedding. I wasn't best man, but his best man gave an awesome speech. And I'm like, dude, I feel like the worst person right now.
Well, no, don't. Because, one, I didn't care if you gave a speech. Because I didn't give one for you. Gretchen, on the other hand, she was like, I want him to. I'm like, okay then.
I'll tell you what. If this show becomes a show, if whatever we're doing here, if the name comes eventually, if we get our own show out there, one day we'll set aside some time in an episode to do a
Proper.
I do a best man speech redemption.
Oh, man.
So we can get the wives in here. We can do, and I can do a better best man speech. How about that?
All right,
yeah. So, guys, yeah, really what we're doing here is we're doing a podcast. I wanted to do one with Rob. We talked about doing this a long time ago with radio and not necessarily podcasting because it really wasn't a thing too much then. But now it is, and we are not getting paid for this, unfortunately. But it's something to do. I wanted to have a podcast going back all the way to a couple years ago. And it was the summer of, what was it? 13. I wanted to get one started because I started collecting games and I wanted to get one for gaming. And then I had looked into the equipment. It was going to be too much. Work got busy. I said, maybe some other time. So, man, excuse me. Beer burps. Then Nate got his going for Journey into Comics. And he started a podcast about collecting comics, talking about comics. And it was sort of a weird little, because I wanted the same thing for gaming. And I'm just like, bastard beat me to it. But I was one of the first listeners of that podcast, and so I would give him my feedback. I actually sent a question in, and then he asked me to be on, and then I stayed, never left, really. And so I'm a co-host on that one, and you're listening to that right now, Incepticast, sort of. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So it was a few months ago when we were just kind of chilling out. We did the 50th, and then we recorded the second metal cast, and Rob was actually there. We always joke that Rob is always there and on the show, just not saying anything. But seriously, for that episode, he was actually just sitting on my futon, just chilling out.
I did talk some.
Oh yeah, you did, because you got corrected, or you knew a question, or
something. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
but-
Like, I know we talked about Tesla for like a brief second.
Damn, Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then, so that happened, and I'm thinking, that I like that setup. I like just the chill, the chill, laid back podcast where two guys or more just kind of sit back and relax, and just have a conversation. Because as much as I love doing, like Skyping in and podcasting that way, and it's fun and easy to do, it's a different vibe when you're sitting there with somebody. It really is, because you can feed off of each other. I know when you're going to talk. You can pretty much tell when I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
So we're not talking over each other. And, as you do that on Skype, you get better at it. But I wanted to try something different. That podcast really put into my mind. I kind of want something that's a little bit more laid back, something chill. And to do that on the side, and the first person I thought of was you. Because of just the old days of, man, it'd be cool to get like a radio station, something. And there's so much history, between the two of us. So you're the first person I asked. You're the only person really that I had in mind. There's probably a couple people I could have asked if you said, absolutely not. I'm not. There's no way that I'm going to hang out with you any more than I have to.
Yeah. I mean, that's not why I would say no, but mostly it's just, this is a little bit out of my comfort zone.
It is.
So.
Hence the name Silent Rob. That's how you got it, because you just don't really talk too much.
Yeah.
But you're a really entertaining guy.
I am.
You are. You're a really entertaining guy. I mean, you're a funny guy. To sit here and chill, just do what we do, When we hang out, we always just sit back, talk, tell stories, and occasionally try something new. Like, it was over Shutdown, last 2 months ago now, that you brought over elk. We made elk burgers and bison dogs. It was, so weird. And so that's kind of what I want this to be, a story time, try something new thing. And I guess we'll just go ahead and say it now. We've been trying Coney Island, a hard root beer. We've talked about that. We were sort of talking about that in the intro.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's like, what do you think, Rob?
I like it. I'm not sure if I could drink more than one or two at a time, just because it's so sweet. But
Is it
I don't.
sweet?
I don't think the aftertaste is too bad.
No, it's not bad at all, and it's got a pretty decent vanilla taste. Like Blaine was telling me about this, and he didn't like it because of the vanilla taste.
Yeah.
But it's got a pretty good. It almost tastes just like an A&W almost. So I mean, I really enjoy it. It's not that bad. But it is a little bit on the expensive side for just a 6-pack, isn't it?
I didn't buy it.
Okay.
Gretchen went and got it.
Because I want to say it's $9.99.
I think that's about how much that Not Your Father's root beer is.
Well, see, because I wanted to try that over Shutdown, we were on the hunt for that, trying to find it, and you actually did try that.
That Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah. And is this better than that though?
I think so.
You think it is? I never got a chance to try it. I would like to still try Not Your Father's just to have my own little.
Yeah, I would like to give it another try because I was drinking it while eating, and I think that kind of affected the taste.
Yeah, that could be. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna give the Coney Island hard root beer, kind of a thumbs up. I guess we'll just do thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
Instead of doing like a rating, I'll just say, this is good. Go try it, guys. It's about $9.99 for a 6-pack if you can find it, and they're really not that hard to find. I want to say I've seen them at Walmart and some other places as well.
Yeah, I think the craze might have kind of calmed down a little bit with the whole hard root beer.
Well, see, with the Not Your Father's though, it's like a microbrew, so it's harder to find that. I think these might be made by maybe a little bit of a bigger brewing, at least something with more.
I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of Coney Island Brewing Company.
What? If that's who this is, and they're smaller, they have pretty good distribution because I've seen it in a couple other places now.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we're going to be trying something else a little bit later on. But before we get to that, we talked about all the stuff, kind of how you and me kind of go back. And one thing I wanted to talk about, we talked about gaming, and you said you wanted to grow up.
Yeah.
But we're going to go back and talk about gaming.
That's fine. I'm cool. I'm cool with that now.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, but you weren't then. Because I asked you in prep for this, I said, all right, something that you and me could talk about pretty easily. And during that time period that you came over pretty late, and then even afterwards, when we were working together, we would come over and play games. And just think of your top 5 favorite PS2 games. Not the best, because that's going to be like, our list will probably be very similar.
Yeah.
If it's just the best. I mean, come on. When you think of the top 5 best PS2 games, you're going to get a lot of people saying the same ones. But just your favorite. They don't have to be exclusive or anything like that. But I'll let you go first.
All right. We're not doing this in any order, right?
No. Just whatever.
I liked like God of War.
Okay, the first one?
Yeah. I don't know. I like Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of nice to get that in a different way than like just reading or watching movies.
Yeah, like in another medium. The thing about God of War is, I want to say that series was created by the same guy that made Twisted Metal.
I think so.
So, I mean, that's kind of neat, because I want to say God of War was in development for quite a while before it came out. I saw something about it in, like, a magazine pretty early on. I'm not even sure if it even had a name yet, but they were just sort of talking about Twisted Metal Black, or maybe, like, the re-release of that had come out with the online, or something. I remember seeing some correlation between that game and God of War. So, like, is there any anything specific that ties you to that other than your interest in mythology? Is there some memory that you have that really kind of comes back? Or
no, not really, man. It's just the mythology, because I mean I didn't play it until like a few years after it came out.
I didn't either. Because by that point, I want to say I was like looking. It's almost like I was almost done with it, because there's only a few more PS2 games that I played before the PS3 came out. And oddly enough, none of those are on my list. I quickly made, because we're only doing 5. If we're doing 10, they probably would be. But so yeah, the first God of War is a great game. First 2 are great, and honestly, I think those are the only 2 that I played Chains of Olympus on PSP, but
yeah.
Honestly enough, from what I've seen, and this may not be a fair assessment, if you played a God of War game, you pretty much played a God of War game.
Pretty much. I mean, the combat hasn't really changed much. They add a few new things, but
right, yeah. So my first one that I want to talk about, and this is a game that you and me played quite a bit. The fall and winter of 2005. Yeah, I'm taking us back like 10 years. This is actually 10 years now. Holy crap! And
I think I might know what it is.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you do, because it's sort of a lead up to this. We worked a bunch of overtime that summer. Then that fall and winter, we slowed down to like we were doing like 2.5 days a week.
Yeah.
So like we wouldn't work Thursday or Friday, and then it was like either both of those nights or one of those nights you would come over, we would chill out, and we would play SmackDown versus Raw 2006.
Yeah.
And we would play GM mode. And I just have such fond memories of that game, to the point of I actually went out of my way to buy it. To rebuy it, because I actually sold it when I sold all my gaming stuff before I started collecting. When I was thinking about buying games, there's like, all right, I want to get, just a couple of them. And here comes the pain. I want to pick that one back up. And then it's like, I got to get 06. I don't care about any of the other ones. I have to get 06. Because I just have such fond memories of you coming over, us chilling out, introducing me to energy drinks around that time. Which I've never given up, not given up.
I have a little bit.
I just had one before we started, and it was like a rock star. Like, I don't drink them like addictively, but there are 3 Monsters in my fridge.
I do see you drink like energy drinks quite a bit.
Okay,
but, I mean we don't hang out that much.
When we hang out, I drink them. All right.
Yeah.
When we hang out, I drink them. I don't drink them too often, either at work or at home. Yeah. Too often. I swear by that. But SmackDown 06, SmackDown versus Raw 06, the GM mode of that game, we had so much fun. Unless you were SmackDown, then you didn't have as much fun. Because Raw got the Elimination Chamber, man.
Yeah.
And I think Raw got one more pay-per-view, because the idea behind GM mode is that you run a show, you do a draft, you pick your guys, and you try to put on a better show than the other guy. It's almost kind of like the Monday Night War wrestling thing, where it's like there's only 10 million people in the world that watch wrestling. And like, you know what? Screw that guy on Monday. I'm watching the guy on Thursday. The guy's like, I'm watching Monday. But never do they go, we can watch both.
Yeah. How many years did we go through?
Oh, jeez.
At least 3?
At least 3. At least 3. I mean, there's just so many fond memories of that. Because I remember, like, we wouldn't even always play the matches. Like, unless it was, like, something that we really cared about. But I remember, like, the roster on that game being really good. I remember all the times that we played that late at night. I mean, we probably even played that into, like, '07. Because I remember I did get '07. And I just didn't care for it as much.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun. They made it too complicated, I think.
They did, because they made it to where you were micromanaging everything.
Yeah.
But
I remember, like, you were, like, really kicking my ass there in the beginning.
Yeah, and then you figured it out.
Yeah, I was just saying, you're a much bigger, like, wrestling fan than me. And you actually think about the storylines, because you've had that other game on the computer that you played. And for me, you know, I don't know, I just kind of, something like clicked, and then we started like evening out, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun memories with that one. So that's my first one. With that, so let's go ahead with your next one on the list, and I can't wait to hear what this one is.
I'm gonna say Bully.
Bully. See,
Yep.
That was one of the ones that I was sort of alluding to. That's towards the end of the PS2.
Yeah.
That I didn't put on the list because honestly, a lot of mine, other than the '06 one, are probably more early titles. But I loved Bully.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know why, but I like going to classes more than I in a video game that I like actually going to.
You're like, I long for the days of my school, of my school going days. I don't want to be delinquent. I want to go to class.
I think there was, like, hardly ever did I ever, like, miss a class.
Even, like, did you still go to them once you completed them, or did you?
No, after I completed them, I was like, I don't have to go now.
I graduated.
Yeah. But it's just that and mowing people's yards and stuff.
You're like, this is like little kid simulator.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about the story. I just want to go to class and mow some yards. I want to do some chores.
Well, that and that slingshot, man. I loved hitting people with that.
Dude, like the Spud launcher. I used to love
Yeah.
shooting the Spud launcher. That game was good, man. I mean, I wish they would make a sequel to it. I've heard that they might.
Yeah.
I've heard, like the next couple of games they're looking at making are maybe like a sequel to Red Dead and another Bully. Those are like the two that are like in the immediate running to possibly get greenlit.
That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, man! I'd love to see another version of Bully.
Another thing I really liked about Bully is that it went through the seasons. You know, you had Halloween and then it's like snowing outside. And you have snowball fights.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, when you beat the game and it goes into endless summer and you just wander around, I kind of wish that it would go back around to the seasons again. I think that'd be neat.
Yeah. Because, you know, I kind of want to play it again. I missed that redheaded chick.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that game, like, really did a lot with a little. Because there weren't that many kids in the school, but it's like you would walk around and you see, like, the same ones. It's like, how'd you get over here, Algie? Dude, you beat me here.
Yeah.
I remember playing that a lot with you. And, like, the only thing about that would just, after you played it so much, would be the bass line for, like, you just walking around.
Yeah.
It just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, it was...
Just over and over again. I actually played it a couple years ago, I think. I want to say I sold a lot of my gaming stuff before I got into collecting, and then I got onto Steam. And I got it on a Steam sale. I got it for like $2. And it was a scholarship edition. And
yeah.
I got that from you, I think, on Xbox.
Yeah.
So when I started collecting, I wanted that version because it took so much to get that Steam version working right, because it just did not want to work. Like, the port of that game on PC sucks. I had to download someone else's, like, patch. Like, some guy goes, I'll figure this out. And then he got it working. So I sat there and I played it on I had a PS3 controller plugged in. My computer thought it was a 360 controller. That is what turned me off from PC gaming. Because maybe if I had the right stuff, if I had the better PC, which my PC's not that bad, it can run it, but I don't like how sometimes the PC ports get a really bad port, like the Arkham Knight game that came out. They pulled it down because it was so bad.
Yeah.
But moving on to my next one, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay.
This game blew my mind when I first saw it. Because I remember playing games similar to this, kind of like Driver. Driver 1, Driver 2. And where you have this big open city that you can drive around. In Driver 2, you can actually get out of the car, steal other people's cars, find the hidden cars in like the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
But GTA 3, I clearly remember the first time I played this. Because I was hanging out with Jason, and I was spending the night that night. And we ended up meeting up with Nathaniel and Brad Tittle. So we were hanging out and talking, and Brad's like, my brother's friend came into town. He's spending the weekend. He brought his PS2. We're like, PS2? This is in 2000 or 2001. This is in the fall of 2001 because GTA had just come out. And we're like, no one in town had a PS2 yet. No one in town was that fancy. I mean, no one that we knew. Because, I mean, hell, you might have still been on the Super Nintendo by this point. I don't know.
It took me so long to get the Super Nintendo. I mean, I swear, like, I got the Super Nintendo, and then they announced that the 64 was coming out, like, the next day.
Yeah. We were still playing on our 64s and PS1s. And so we heard that this guy had a PS2. He goes, hey, if we go in there, we might be able to play it. So we go over, and his brother and his friend were in the garage, probably drinking, smoking something. I don't know. Whatever, teenagers do, man.
Yeah.
Just saying. So we were like, we might be able to sneak up there. So we snuck up there. We played for like 45 minutes. And the game that was in there was Grand Theft Auto 3. And all we did was load it up and play that first part over and over again, where he's still in his orange jumpsuit. We would like drive and not go to the mission point. We would just like ditch the car and run around and beat people up with baseball bats. But I'll just never forget that because that was the first PS2 game I actually saw in person and played. GTA 3. Were there better ones that came out after that? Yes, of course. But that game broke the mold for me of I have to get one of these. And I remember both me and Jason got a PS2 that year, and he got GTA. And I think I wanted Metal Gear because we were gonna like swap them, and they couldn't get Metal Gear for whatever reason. So as a second ditch effort, I think I got like a SmackDown game, the first SmackDown game that came on PS2. That took up like so much memory card space. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, GTA 3 is one of my favorite memories of the PS2. That night for me will forever live in infamy of like the first time you see the next console, the first time something wows you to that sort of level. That's what GTA 3 was for me, because even though there, of course, were games that came out that looked better, but none of them in my memory look as good as that first time I saw GTA 3.
Yeah. I don't even remember what my first like PlayStation 2 game is. Probably whatever played at your house.
Yeah, because my PS2 came with Gran Turismo, and then as a second game, my dad got me the SmackDown game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. To this day, Gran Turismo 3 and 4 look amazing on the PS2. It's crazy. I bought 4 at like it was either Goodwill or somewhere. I popped it in. I'm like, this looks PS3 quality almost.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I never really played like 3 and 4.
Because I remember you had 1 and 2 on PS1.
I didn't have 1. I just had 2.
Okay.
But I played that one quite a bit.
Okay. But that's PS1 though. It's not.
Yeah,
PS2.
Exactly. We're not talking about that.
No.
So you said Grand Theft Auto 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna take it to the next one, Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Okay.
That is mine. I like the 80s music. I love 80s music. So, and the cars. It's just amazing. I love that. And
Miami Vice type feel.
Yeah.
Like even down to like the colors, like the actual colors of it didn't look bleak. It looked very bright and vibrant.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember like going with my cousin to pick it up, and just going back to his place and playing it. And then had like some family over one day when I was there playing. His aunt came in there and was watching us play, and he's like, "Yeah, show her how to pick up a prostitute." So I went and picked one up, and then did my thing.
Did your thing. You got your health refilled.
Yeah. And then got my money back.
Dude, there were times where I wouldn't get all my money back. It's almost like she did tax withheld, or she had a
yeah, she already gave it to the government.
Yeah, man, legitimate prostitute.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, Vice City was awesome. Now when you guys went and picked it up, was that the night it released?
No, it was like the weekend.
Okay, so the weekend after.
Yeah.
Because I do want to say that was the very first day of release game I got.
Really?
It had been a while since I got a new PS2 game, because that came out in 2002, a year after 3. It was just a straight year after, and I really remember the hype up leading to that. Of course, 3, as I said, blew my mind, so I was all for the next one. So I told my dad, I said, I want to get this game, and it had been a little while since my last games that I bought, because we used to rent a lot back then. That was still a thing. I mean, you could rent today, but I don't know anyone besides Wes that does it.
Right?
Wes is the one guy keeping Family Video in business.
Not really, man. He's always doing the free rentals, and then he takes them back late, and then he gets somehow he's able to erase all of his late fees.
Wow. Wes is a character. Anyway, yeah, I talked to my dad and getting that. I remember I was hanging out with Jason, and we were like, I wonder what this is going to be like. I wonder what that's going to be like. And of course, the first thing I did the day of release, go online at Jason's house, because he had the internet, look up codes.
Oh, of course.
And only one code was out. The Dodo cheat, where you cause your car to fly and float up. And so that's the only one I had, and it was never my favorite one. But I remember my dad telling me, because he picked me up from Jason's after school that day. He goes, "Sorry, bud, but I got there after work and they didn't have it." He had a habit of doing this to me, by the way, just kind of psyching me out. I should have, even at the back of my head, I'm like, I wonder if he got it. Because he did this to me on at least 2 other occasions on the PS1, with Final Fantasy 8 and 9 or something like that. Where he was like, "Nah, I don't have it." And then he'd knock on my window when he's taking our dog for a walk. Like, "Ha! Look what I found!" At the park.
Look what I found.
So he did that with Grand Theft Auto. I got home and I had it. I don't know why he did it like that. He liked screwing me. He liked seeing my reaction. And I kind of no-sold it. I'm like, maybe we'll try again in a couple days. It didn't get the reaction he wanted. But I love Vice City. Dude, that game was freaking awesome because it built on. The gameplay was a little bit better, and of course, as you said, the soundtrack to GTA 3 really wasn't that good, other than the songs that were from Scarface that are actually on that game, and then Chatterbox. But
yeah,
the next one for me is Metal Gear Solid 2, and I did this one over 3 for a reason, and that's because as I said, I wanted that for my first game. It had just come out a month before, but they didn't have it; they were out. And I actually rented it in February. I had to wait all the way to February to play it, because it was such a hot game. And I remember the first time I did, I think Preston came over, because he just couldn't contain himself. But by that point, I had gotten him into it. So we were sitting there watching it, and watching the game. That's kind of what you do in Metal Gear games, except the new one. But it was just, the graphics blew my mind. They were even better than Grand Theft Auto. Gameplay was great, but mostly memories of this game include me beating this game so many freaking times. That game has to be up there with Link to the Past and FF7 for how many times I've beaten the game. I mean, sitting through all the dialogue too. Okay, maybe not all if I'm going for a speed run, because I've actually sped run that game too.
Oh yeah.
I went to a point where I'm just gonna speed run, skip everything, and just blaze through it. And when I got, I don't own Sons of Liberty, but I own Substance, which is the same game with extras. Because when that came out, I decided to get it instead. And that was the one where I beat the game on Extreme and did like 93% of the VR missions. Sons of Liberty is so high up there with like my most played games. A lot of memories. The story is so out of whack in that game. First time I beat it, I didn't know what happened. Because the second time I went through it, then it sort of, okay, this clicked, that clicked, to the point where I know that, and I break down the story. Okay, that's fine. But that game for me, all the Metal Gear games are really cinematic. You know, Snake Eater was great, and that game is in my top 5 favorite games of all time. But favorite memories, MGS2 has to take, because I played that game so much. Way more than Snake Eater, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that this worked out this way, because you've done GTA 3 and then I did Vice City. Now you're doing Metal Gear 2 and I'm going to do Metal Gear 3.
I kind of had a feeling that you would do Metal Gear 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really play 2. I think one reason why I like Snake Eater, it was the setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't like the idea of being in that, I don't know, like the
indoors big shell type thing.
Yeah. I like being outside, hanging from trees and.
Well, see, you know, yeah. I mean, Snake Eater is such a. It's not an open world game, but the areas which you sneak through, a lot of them are really open that give you kind of multiple ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. I think another reason with 2 is, you know, you weren't playing as Snake. I know it's different snakes, but.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, because they psych you out.
Yeah.
They let you play for like Solid Snake. They let you play as him for like an hour on the tanker mission, and then they swap it out. Which I never really agree with that, because every time I play as Raiden, I always make him like act like an idiot, like trip up the steps or something like that.
I've seen you do that so many times.
And just act stupid with it. But I mean, yeah, I didn't like that at first. I got over it because the gameplay was really good. I do agree that, you know, with 3, having one character in that spot is much more interesting from a narrative point.
Yeah. And I mean, later on you can get the mask and actually look like Raiden. So.
Yeah, you can. Raidenovich, or whatever his name was.
Something like that.
Yeah. Rykov. Oh yeah, man, Snake Eater was awesome. I mean, if there's one thing that MGS2 lacked, it was creative boss fights. Fat Man was a good boss fight. Every other one was just okay. Maybe the Solidus, the last one with like the swords, that was kind of neat, different. Every other one for me is just it's there. I mean, you know, fighting the Metal Gears, it just gets so repetitive. Vamp he's hopping around just doing stuff. It's hard to hit, but it's not that bad. It's just not that interesting. But with Snake Eater, you have like the end.
Yeah.
You have the fear. Those 2 boss fights are freaking amazing, and then they're back to back actually, with the fear and then the end.
Yeah.
I mean, the end is one of the most epic boss fights of all time in the entire series.
Oh yeah. I mean.
So I mean, it's that and the story. I mean, story alone, MGS3 is better than 2, because the one reason why I like 3, because it went back. It was sort of like the if you were looking at the series like as a whole, this was like the part of the Tarantino movie that takes you all the way back to the beginning of the story. following an entirely different character.
Yeah.
that is dead before like the first part of the movie. So yeah, this one goes back way back and starts to tell like the origin, I guess, of this whole universe. But that's good, because if you don't know that, like, you don't get a whole lot of answers. Like the questions that you want answered in 2, you don't get a lot of those in 3. You almost get none of them, other than like a little bit more of like elaboration on what certain people are. But for 3, I think Metal Gear Solid 1 is the perfect jumping on point, because that's sort of the start, other than the 2 prior games on the MSX or whatever. But MGS1 and MGS3 is good too, because it almost has no you have not, you just going in, and it's like, okay, you're this
Yeah.
character, then you're doing this. By the end of it, it's so isolated from the other two, or from the rest of the series, of course, until it gets sequels.
Yeah.
But it's just such a great because in 2 you're like, okay, what's going on here? All right, this guy. In 4 you're like, oh my god, what's going on here? All this stuff happened before. It all kind of comes around. And even with MGS5, the new one, in my opinion, you have to understand Peace Walker a little bit to really have any attachment to some of these characters.
Yeah, I haven't played that, or even watched like anything
From it,
so
I played it once, and then I ended up rewatching all the cutscenes. And to me, that's the way you should do it. And I actually told Nate that on the last podcast I did with him. I'm like, or either that, or I told him off air, you should either play or watch Peace Walker, because that's the setup. Essentially, this is a setup for this one. But you don't need that setup for 3. And
exactly.
And it's perfect. You could just if that's the only one you ever want to play, you don't have to play the other ones. Not really.
Yeah, you're right. Because I definitely can just pick that up, and I don't feel like I need to really play anything else.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean it's perfect that way. But another series that does it like that, where each entry is isolated, is Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy X is my next one. And really, I mean, Final Fantasy X is a game that I've gained more respect for a few years later than when it first came out. I did pick it up pretty early when it came out. And I liked it and disliked it. I didn't like the sphere grid. The whole leveling system.
Yeah.
Now I like it because I understand it. At the time, I'm like, what do you do? And that's because, dummy, you have to grind a little bit. Get some sphere levels and level your guy up. You can't just like kind of walk through it. You have to grind a little bit. And for some reason in those games, is when I was younger, I'm just like, run away! I just want to get to the story. But the game was awesome. I even got stuck. That's the main story that I have from this game. I got stuck on a boss fight. Near the end of the game, I'd say probably maybe 7 hours before the end. One of the recurring bosses is Seymour. It's kind of like one of the main villains. So you encounter him on a mountain. He kicked my ass over and over and over. And I was stuck on him for an entire year. A year. It got me to the point where I was so mad, I quit playing the game. I would occasionally pop it in, try to beat him. Couldn't do it. Almost exactly a year later. Because I remember it was in February when I got the game. Or like January, February. I played the crap out of it, got stuck, put it down. And I remember like the next February, I beat him. And that's when I beat the game. But that is such a big memory for me with that game, is like being stuck for a year and then getting back into it and then trying to remember who all these characters are.
Wow, yeah. I never played that one.
You know what? It's actually a really touching story. It's deep, but it gets marred in its own problems a little bit with the sphere grid. You have to understand what you're doing. It's one of those games where once you get past the learning curve, you should enjoy the story. It's really neat. But the main character, that's another thing. He's annoying.
I mean, I can't even like look at him without being kind of annoyed. I think that's one reason why I didn't bother playing it.
I mean, by the end of the game, he's a great character. Because I guess he goes through this growing up phase for most of the game. But once he gets there, dude, the story is very touching. But it's just, you have to get past, in my opinion, the sphere grid, and then he's like a little kid at times. He wants what he wants, and then when he doesn't get it, he whines, and so you got to get past that. But you also have to understand it's kind of the intention is to have him kind of have this kind of growth throughout the game, and become a bigger, better person for it. But yeah, that's definitely up there with one of my favorite games for that system. Not so much the sequel, because that was the first one they did a sequel to. I like the battle system. I just don't really like anything else with it. It didn't really work for me.
I really haven't heard much about the sequel.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, the first game is probably the last masterpiece that they had for the Final Fantasy series, in my honest opinion. Like, as far as, like, everything kind of comes together. It's like, wow, okay, this is great. Because I still have not gotten to be able to play 12. because it just feels like Knights of the Old Final Fantasy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I played it, but I definitely didn't come close to beating it.
I've heard 12 is great until the end. I've heard that it really, like, it's almost like they had it going, and then they're like, okay, we have to hurry and get the game out, and then they just went. But, so yeah, Final Fantasy X, great game.
All right. And my last game is Champions of Norath.
I can't carry it anymore. Dude, that game was awesome.
There's no place to put that.
Dude, that game was so freaking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed dungeon crawlers.
Oh, yeah.
And, but I went over to my cousin's house, and, you know, he had some friends over, and we all played it.
Was that game compatible with multi-tap? Could you have 4 players?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys did?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I mean, that made it, like, a lot of fun. But then, you know, he lived a little ways away from me.
Yeah.
So, one of my other cousins bought it, and me and him played it, like, even more. And I almost had a maxed out character. And then we kind of stopped playing for, like, a little while, and then he needed some memory space on his memory card, and he erased my guy. So I've never been able to max out my Chief Tokadoobie.
You played as Dark Elf, didn't you?
No, I played as Barbarian.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I think I played as the other ones a little bit, but I mostly played as Barbarian.
Well, see, because when you introduced me to the game, you brought it over. I played as Barbarian, and you played as Dark Elf.
Yeah.
And that's why it was. I always, because I tried to pick up everything, and I got covered anymore, and it made me laugh so much I kept doing it, to the point where it probably got old.
Yeah, I've done the same thing.
But did you? So I mean, they had a sequel, right?
Yeah. Return to Arms, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for that one as much.
Okay. Now, there's another series that is sort of like that dungeon crawler, and I haven't Dark Alliance.
Yeah.
But it's a different. It's because Champions of Norath, that's EverQuest, and this is like Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how close are those two really?
So like being the
Similar game. I mean, like, is Baldur's Gate more story driven, or?
You know, I haven't really played much of that.
Okay.
I so far I think it's pretty much the same, but I think you can only have like 2 players.
Okay. I mean, and that's funny because I bought it on the Xbox. I bought Dark Alliance on the Xbox, which is like clearly, hey, that's 4 controller slots. So.
I have the game. I got it during a point when I was buying like just a bunch of games, so I put it in to try it out, and I just haven't done anything else.
Okay, because I remember when I was out, collecting games, I found Champions, because you sold yours a long time ago. You wanted it back, so I remember picking that up for you. Was that?
I never had the first one.
Oh,
it was like everybody else that had it, and I played it with them.
Then you just had Return to Arms.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
But I have bought the first one, like, since then, and tried to get my wife to play, and we did play for a while.
She can't care anymore.
Yeah. So she just stopped playing.
I know. I can't care anymore. I'm just gonna quit playing. Dude, yeah, that game was a great game. Really fun. Just good old hack and slash. I want to say that was made by Sony Online Entertainment.
Yes.
Which is they no longer are with Sony now.
Really?
Yeah. They splintered off and got sold or whatever.
Hmm.
The last game they made was the game that came out that's like DayZ. H1Z1. Last game that they made, and
okay.
I don't know if that got released under Sony, but the last game that I'm going to talk about was I want to say it was either a launch game or a near launch game. I want to say it was a launch game for the PS2. And I remember it was me and Jason, after we got our PS2s. We rented a lot of games, or I did. So we'd hang out, and I would bring a game over. Check this out, And one of the first ones I rented was The Bouncer. And The Bouncer was made by Square, same people that made Final Fantasy. And this was a 3D beat 'em up, where you kind of ran from section to section and you just beat up enemies. And I think you could pick between 3 characters, maybe 4. I want to say it's 3. And you had to like just go through areas. But the main memory I have of this game is how short it was. Now, typically that's a bad thing, right? It's a short game. I mean, but I rented it, so I didn't pay $60 for it. You could beat that game in 45 minutes.
Wow.
45 minutes. First time we beat that game was 45 minutes. In fact, when you beat it 3 times, the main villain wears a different, like an alternate outfit. I saw it that night because we just went through it all over again.
I don't know. I think that's one thing about like really short games though too, is because you can play through them multiple times and you don't, it doesn't get old as quick as like, something that's like, it's like it takes 5 hours to beat, but
right. See, for me, like The Bouncer, it's a game that I don't have yet, like in my collection, and I want it a lot because of that memory. Because I want to sit down and play it because it's not a bad game. Again, it could have been a little longer, and I kind of wish they would have made a sequel to it and made it a little longer. But we never got it, and we'll probably never will at this point. But no, The Bouncer was just so fun. I remember I told Jason, I heard this game was short. And then we beat it. He looked at me and goes, "It's pretty short." We got through it, and then we just kept playing through it over and over again. Fun game, though. Fun game.
Yeah, I've never played it, so you should buy it, and we can play it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Because I mean, by the time with how far we've gone into this podcast so far, we would have beaten it already. So yeah, guys, I guess that's our favorite PS2 games, and really that was just to kind of get us reminiscing and talking about some old games. We've got some other topics to talk about, but I really don't want to push this too much, so we'll just kind of save that for another time. But the sort of the main event here is us trying new stuff. We already tried the Coney Island root beer, and we got some other stuff. And the other stuff we're going to try are the flavor finalists for the Lay's chips. And what we have are the biscuits and gravy, the truffle fries, but Reuben and what's the other one? Gyro?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Gyro. And you can go and vote for whatever flavor you like. And we're going to do that. We're actually going to try each and every one of these. And I think we're going to get another beer to have a palate cleanser because we're out of our first one by now.
Yeah. I don't know if we should drink another beer
I don't know.
for that, or
I don't know. We'll
try something else. But
let's get this stuff kind of set up here, and then we'll get to picking our things. In fact, hey, before we do anything else, why don't we kind of draw it from a hat? I have all the names in a hat. Sound effect for hat. So I wrote down each one of these in an order, just so that way we're like, we're not going like, oh, like I want to try biscuits and gravy first. No. We're gonna let the hat decide.
yeah, because there's definitely some that we're excited about, and then others are like, eh.
Yeah, right.
Try it.
So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna pick this stuff from a hat. Then we're going to kind of put them into a bowl. You're probably gonna hear like a quick click, and then we're gonna come right back into it. So first off, before we do that, we're gonna pick one from a hat. So I'll let Rob do it.
All right.
So Rob, what is the first one that we will be trying?
The first one is the whatever Gyro.
Gyro. First is Gyro. Have you heard anything about the Gyro?
No.
Okay, I have. And that's all I'm going to say. So go ahead and pick the next one. The next one we will be trying is the only flavor known as
the truffle fries.
We're going to be trying the truffle fries. So we got Gyro, truffle fries, and we'll do the one more because we're going to know which one the other one is, and they are stuck together. So we're not going to be trying both of them at the same time. That would defeat the purpose. All right. I'm pretty sure they're mixed up now.
All right.
So.
And the third one is the Reuben.
The Reuben. So, of course, that means the last one is the biscuits and gravy. So, we're going Gyro, truffle, Reuben, gravy.
Yep.
All right. So, we got them all in bowls. We're going gyro truffle Reuben gravy. Gyro truffle Reuben gravy. So Rob, I will let you try the gyro first. Now, this is the what, kettle chip?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. So I'll let you go ahead and try first. Now, have you ever had a gyro?
Probably not like a real one. I've had some from the cafeteria at work.
Yeah, they're probably not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fake. But I've never had one either. I've heard that up north near Chicago, and in Chicago there are really some good gyro places. So I don't know. I've never really tried one before, but really anxious to hear what you have to say about it, because it's just odd, because without having tried a gyro before, other than what you have, not really sure the flavor. What do you think?
It's not bad. I like it. I could probably sit there and eat like a bag of them, but I think it does taste pretty similar to the one that I had at work.
Does it?
Yeah. I don't think it's too hard. I mean, it's like what, lamb and like some pita bread or something.
But I don't think I would know what it was if you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
But and probably because I never had a gyro.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
But it's not bad. It's not bad. And I know. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not certain if I could sit there and eat a whole bag of them. Maybe because we bought the small bags.
Yeah.
Of course, these are also in bigger bags, like the big full-size bags. I don't think I could eat a full-size bag of them.
No, I don't.
But
I don't think I can do that with any chip though. So.
I may or may not have done that with other chips. All right, so the next one is the wavy one. So we got like the off-brands, not the off-brands, but the not so common like Lay's chips. So we got the kettle, and then these are wavy. These kind of look like sour cream and onion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I'll go first this time. And do you know what a truffle is?
I have no idea. I don't know what truffle fries are. Because isn't there like some kind of chocolate thing?
That's what I thought. Doesn't taste like chocolate.
I would hope not.
No. It's pretty good. I'm trying to actually kind of place the spice. There might be a little bit of a pepper on there. I don't know. Again, if you didn't tell me what it was, I probably would tell you it's like pepper and sour cream.
Yeah.
I do think I could eat more of these than the gyro, though.
I don't know. I think I like the gyro better.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's not so bad. We'll have to try some more of these after we're kind of off the air here. But the next one is the Reuben.
Don't they have like sauerkraut on them?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Look at the bag. Does it have sauerkraut on the bag? That's truffle.
Yeah, that's truffle.
New York Reuben. So these are from New York.
I think that's sauerkraut.
A little bit of coleslaw, maybe?
No, sauerkraut's like what? Like pickled cabbage type?
Yeah, something like
that.
Cooked cabbage. Oh, I mean, it's got pickle on there. I wonder if you can taste the pickle. I don't know. I haven't heard too much, but I'll let you try this one first.
All right.
Because I don't think I never had a New York one, but I've had one like from somewhere. It may have been from work. It may have been because the place we work at has a cafeteria and it's catered by a different company, and they have a bunch of random different stuff in there sometimes. So it's never like a really true, like authentic recreation of what like the style they're trying to do is, but it's usually good enough for lunch.
I would say it's my least favorite.
Your least favorite?
Yeah, so far.
I want to say I've heard that from someone else before. It may have been Nick. But we will try this. So it's got like a kind of a, is that a red? Kind of looked like a seasoning on it. Wow. This is the first one that I don't like. Like, and it's not just like, oh, you know what? I don't think I can eat too much of those. No. As in, like, I don't really want to try another one.
Yeah.
I might do it again, try and get into like, a sense for the flavor. I also didn't cleanse my palate with this water after truffle, which this was so strong, I didn't have to do it. Holy crap. Yeah, I don't think I could actually recommend the Reuben. There's no way Reuben anywhere tastes like that.
I'm still not gonna try a Reuben. Even like, I don't know.
Oh, come on, man.
No, man.
Dude, we should do it on the show.
Oh god, no, because I don't like sauerkraut.
Dude, I don't either, but that's the thing. I've been seeing a sauerkraut in the store lately. It's like, I don't want to make it, but I kind of want to try it again. Because as you get older, your taste buds change. You might like it.
It's the smell.
Bro, see,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. My dad used to make it, and
vinegar.
My dad used to make it, and I hated the smell. But as I'm getting older, the vinegar is not bothering me that much anymore. So it's like, dude, maybe I like this now. And maybe it's gonna be one of my favorite dishes. I don't know, because I like other stuff that's in it. Just I don't like cabbage. Or do I like cabbage? Dude. Yeah. I mean, let's not commit, but it's a good idea. We should both get real authentic Reubens, if possible.
All right.
Okay, you guys didn't see
Happy
that, but yeah. Rob's not too happy about it, but I'm sure he'll get me back at some point. Because Rob, if you ever find anything like when you're out and about, it's like we should try this, like some of that black water.
That's just the color of it, really. Just kind of psyched you out. Tastes like water.
Is that the kind of water they have at Castle Black? As it black water?
Maybe.
All right, so the next one here is biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
You want to talk about wrestling games there? So this is probably the one I'm most excited about.
Oh, I'm definitely there with you.
Dude, smell it.
Yes.
Holy crap. I like it.
He's looking pretty happy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Very biscuits and gravy. I don't know how they're able to capture that flavor. Sauce. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Once it sinks in, it's like...
Yeah, it took a little bit, and then it's like, oh, there it is.
I know, yeah. Yeah, man. I really like that one. That one and then the truffle. I actually kind of like the truffle. But which one would you say is your favorite?
Biscuits and gravy, man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm having another one.
Right?
Yeah, man. It's so odd that they're able to capture flavors and just put them on like a potato chip or something like that. Yeah, man. Rob just gave this look of like ecstasy. Like, man, this is awesome. But like, do you remember back when we first moved into the first apartment and they had these guess the Dorito flavor?
Yeah.
It was cheeseburger. And what gave it away for me was the mustard. Like, I could taste the mustard in it. I'm like, this might be cheeseburger. And then it turns out to be cheeseburger. They had another one out that we never got. Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew flavored Dorito?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds gross.
It does sound gross, but I want to try it. Because then, was it last year they had Dorito flavored Mountain Dew? It's at like some colleges.
I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. They had like a nacho cheese flavor. And that led to people going and mixing Mountain Dew with Doritos in their blender. Try and recreate it.
Why?
Because people are a glutton for punishment.
I can't imagine that being good.
Damn, that was good, man.
Yes.
All right, man. So, I think we're both in agreement. I think biscuits and gravy is going to win. At least it's getting our vote. Which you guys can go on Lays.com or something like that and find it in both there. If it's still going on. Of course, you guys may be hearing this a couple years later. Where hopefully biscuits and gravy wins.
The website is Do Us a Flavor.
Oh, dude! Oh, look at them being all ingenious-like with their website names.
It ends October 18th.
Oh, there you go. So if you guys are listening to this in September or early October, you guys still have a chance to go vote. And I have to recommend the biscuits and gravy. I would like that to stick around because that is a great alternative to actually making some biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, I won't have to go to my mom's house anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. I mean, so that's really going to wrap it up for today. I mean, it's sort of the idea is just kind of share some stories and try some new stuff. So we tried that beer; it was pretty good. Tried these chips, which 3 out of the 4 of them are pretty good. And biscuits and gravy was awesome. Reuben was horrible, freaking horrible. I'm not going to try any more of those willingly.
No.
I don't know. I might, but yeah. So Rob, what do you think? Do you want to do this more?
Yeah, I mean,
Hell yeah.
we're kind of thinking about like once a month or so, right?
That's the idea. Once a month, maybe if we start getting into it, we start getting somewhat of an audience. Maybe do 2. My idea is like the second Friday of every month, which is when this is going to come out, and then of September anyway. And then if we can do 2, second and fourth, so we can just kind of get together like we always do, just kind of hide away, can sit back and talk, and then maybe we eventually can have some people on. But if since this is something that we're actually, now that we've done it, we kind of want to do more. We're probably not going to really start until after the new year. Like we could do more like this, because right now we're just doing it with my USB mic, and it's pretty it's not the best, but it gets the job done. I kind of want to have better equipment for a better sounding show.
Yeah.
For us to have our own mics, and that way we don't have to be so huddled close together, have our own space. But yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
I didn't realize that we would talk that much about the PS2 stuff.
Yeah, me neither, man.
Because because we had like another topic and everything, but we'll just kind of save that for the next time.
Yeah, I know. Like when we're kind of talking about like what we're gonna do, it's like, yeah, that sounds like it'll fit in that time frame that we're looking for. But
we'll see. Yeah, because when we try to do Journey into Comics, it's like talk about this, this, and 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 somehow we managed to fit it into an hour and a half. But for this, it was like, no, let's talk about who we are. Let's talk about these games. Let's try the beer. Let's try the chips, and let's talk about this. And it's like one thing still got cut from that.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to keep it sort of condensed to just a little over an hour, which is where we're at now.
All right then.
Yeah, dude, I think that's it. Guys, go out and vote for the chips. Go try the Coney Island root beer. Both of those got thumbs up. At least the biscuits and gravy one did from us. Thumbs down to the Reuben. Thumbs middle for Gyro. Thumbs up for truffle from me. And Rob, you said truffle was eh.
No, I liked it, but I think the gyro is a little bit better.
But we can both agree, Reuben sucks. Biscuits and gravy are good.
Yes.
All right then. So Rob, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to have to do this again really soon and try to get something set up to where we can get our own show out there. I want to thank all you guys for checking this out. This isn't a Journey into Comics episode. So I hope you stayed with it, just kind of hung out with us and listened to us talk and ramble on about old times, memories, and forge a new one. So for Rob, this is Brando. Until next time, we'll see you later.